It's getting close to Halloween and it had me thinking about the most scariest topic of all, which is of course conservative men who creep on goth women. Second channel, hello, welcome back to my second channel. My name is Dimitri if you don't know me, okay? Hey, goth woman complains about men again, I know. Ghost stories, how about creepy man stories? How about them apples, okay? If you've seen the video I made previously where I was complaining about my local goth club and how all the conservative frat boy kind of men were ruining it, that kind of got me thinking. And just thinking about the phenomenon of conservative men being weirdly attracted to goth women and how it's like a whole thing, I wanted to know why. Why is this type of person attracted to the complete polar opposite kind of person? And so I have written up some theories, and I think one of the main ones that stand out to me is that it's something different, okay? Goth people have just always been notoriously picked on, okay? If you look like anything other than society wants you to look, society, okay? I'm not trying to say it in that kind of way, but it's true. If you look noticeably different than everyone else, people are gonna notice, and people are also gonna want to pick on you a little bit more, and people just don't understand. I think that like comedy sort of aspect of like making fun of people like that, it kind of turns into curiosity, and it's like I feel like once you get past this like, oh, this is so jarring, this type of look is jarring and weird and different, I feel like once they get past that, they become interested, okay? Which is why the goth club got infiltrated, because normie frat boys were interested and curious. Typically these people could go there to make fun of it and be like, oh my god, look at how weird it is, this place is so weird. And then they say that, but it's like deep down I feel like a lot of them are like interested and like curious, but like they'll put on this front for their buddies of like, oh my god, these people are so freaking weird, holy shit, I bet they drink blood or like just weird things like that. But like deep down they're interested, they're curious, it's intriguing, it's different. And then there comes the aspect of like stereotypes, and I feel like a lot of goth people do have stereotypes, and especially if there's like sexually deviant frat boys, there's that stereotype about goths being kinky and like BDSM kind of stuff. That's intriguing because that breaks out of conformity and societal norms, like it's different. And I heard someone say that like some of these people are tired of that, and they're tired of going with the flow with society, and they like crave something different. Eventually they just become attracted to these different kind of people, you know? And they don't want vanilla things, and they want something a little more exciting. And I also heard someone talk about like conservative women, and someone essentially saying that like conservative women and like Republican women are just like very traditional, very vanilla, very just like safe. And I also heard a lot of people say that conservative women are just very negative as well, and that like conservative men are like bored of conservative women because they're too normal. So when they see these people who are free and like express themselves and like look a little weird and have these like weird BDSM stereotypes attached to them, that kind of brings out these people to these spaces, you know? Because they're curious, they want to see for themselves. And I've talked about this in the goth club video, but it's like they go to these goth spaces on the pretense that they're like checking it out to see how weird it is, and then they actually end up like trying to hit on these people and like pick these people up, you know? And like another theory of mine is like the manic pixie dream girl kind of thing. And I've heard a lot of people say that they are attracted to goth women because they want someone to fix. There's a very common stereotype where women are like, I can fix him. So I feel like when conservative men are like weird and creeping on goth women and like attracted to goth women, it's kind of the same thing, but in the inverse, where they're like, I can fix her. Obviously, like with the stereotypes, goth women must be broken and they must be depressed and like they must have had horrible childhoods and it has made them act out in this way. So like I can fix her. But it's like obviously these people don't want to be fixed, but I think these conservative men do it in a way that's very like subtle. Like obviously you don't get into a relationship wanting to be fixed by the other person. And so it's kind of like imperialism but on the body and the psyche. It's like a challenge, kind of in like an ego thing of like an I fixed her kind of thing. Like if I get this goth girl, she's so troubled, she's weird and like eccentric and exciting, but like I can fix her. And I actually saw a video of a woman who was talking about this happening to her, where she was like alternative growing up, like very visibly alternative, and she marries this guy. And over time, this guy is like, you know what? I really wish you would wear your natural hair. Your natural hair is so beautiful on you. Like you should grow out your natural hair. And so the girl does, because you want to make your partner happy. Or he says, you know what, I wish you didn't have so many tattoos. You're perfect the way you are. Your skin is beautiful the way it is, you know? You should really stop getting tattoos. Or even, you should take out your piercings. Your face is so beautiful. Why do you even need them? You should take them out. Or why do you wear black all the time? This pink dress would look so good on you. Or like, do you know what I mean? So this woman went through this with her husband, and so years and years had passed and she became a mother and obviously got a little bit more relaxed with her style, and she went from like a complete goth person to a normal person who looked like a normal person and conformed with society and literally just looked like a normal ass person on the street. And then one day she is like watching a show or something with her husband, and there's like a goth woman on the screen, and the husband is like expressing his like attraction towards this goth woman on TV or something like that. And it made this woman think like, what the hell? I literally used to be like that. But you sat there and you told me that you didn't like when I did this. You didn't like when I dressed like this or had my piercings or my tattoos. So I would conform to that and I would change the way I looked. For you. Just for you to sit and look at the screen and there's like a goth woman on the screen and you are expressing attraction towards this person when I used to be that. And that is just so insane to me. And that's what makes me feel like they want something to conquer. They want something to fix. And it's like he had successfully changed her just to express attraction for the same things that he told her that he didn't like. So it's just like, where do you get off? What is this phenomenon? And I really do feel like a big aspect of it is like conquering and fixing. This is gonna bring me to another note, which makes me feel like a lot of this phenomenon has to do with addiction. And again, with like the sexual stereotypes surrounding goths and goth women. So I do feel like porn addiction has like a really big factor into it, which like I could go on about addiction. It is so disturbing, very disgusting, very damaging to our society, okay? It sets up unrealistic standards. It puts ideas in your mind that some people are a certain way. And so I feel like these men go out and they want to venture for that because they're sick and tired of their bored, dull, little normie conservative life. But instead of doing that themselves and exploring that within themselves, it's like they find it in other people. So they find these goth women. There's these stereotypes around them being kinky, which definitely came from like and shit, and it's just very disturbing. And it's like, obviously that's not real. That is not real. Not everyone is like that. And of course, when you sexualize this group of people, you don't see them as people, you see them as sexual objects. That is damaging and dangerous as well. So these guys going to goth clubs, they're not interested in these goth women because of their personality or the things that they like or who they are as people. They're interested in them as sexual objects and something that can like feed their fantasy and like feel it for real or something like that. Oh my god, this even reminds me of like the whole Deftones thing. Deftones has become such a buzzword now, and it's like men have started, like normie men have started to associate the band Deftones with like hypersexuality and like sexual people, because it is a very like sensual sounding band with like very like sensual lyrics. I'm not saying that every Deftones fan is super hypersexual and all of these things, but these normie men who see goth women listening to Deftones, it's like they have this preconceived notion in their minds of like, oh, she's kinky, she's hypersexual, she's like easy, like stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's exciting for them. It's exciting for them even though it's not real. They're like chasing this fantasy of the goth woman. It pisses me off so bad. It pisses me off so fucking bad. And a lot of them are like MAGA or Republican or on the right or whatever, which is so weird to me because a lot of goths, most goths, it's a big part of the subculture to be on the left because of where it all started, and politics have always been a really big thing in goth. So like being inclusive, women's rights, LGBTQ, like that is a huge part of the goth subculture, and just like accepting everyone and just like being yourself. It doesn't matter who you are, what background you come from, but it's like if you are going to be in the goth subculture interacting with these spaces and you're on the right, you're not gonna be accepted because you're actively going against what goth is. It's really like disturbing and annoying when these Republican guys think that they can just barge into our spaces and just start hitting on people because they want to fulfill this fantasy when people are literally just being themselves. And this is something I've actually struggled with myself. I am very stereotypically goth. I look like every other bitch, but like I don't care because I'm being myself. I don't feel inclined to be the most unique person. I just do what makes me feel good. But obviously, to the average Joe on the street, I don't look basic at all. But it's like if you stand me next to a bunch of other goth people, I look very basic. So it's like I very stereotypically look goth, and I know that I am a type. And I hate being a type. I hate being someone's type. It makes me feel disgusting. And this is something that I have struggled with so much. And it's just something that I've have just come to the conclusion that I'm just gonna have to ignore it. Very basically, like I do the trad goth makeup. I have black hair and bangs and like piercings and tattoos. And like that is a type. It's a type. It's like the goth woman type. And I feel like a lot of it comes from someone normie sees me, they're gonna have all of these preconceived notions about me in their mind because they have already applied all of these weird, disgusting stereotypes onto me. And it just really disturbs me and bothers me that these people are like thinking these things about me and targeting me because of the way that I look. It's like, okay, privileged white girl complains about being targeted, I get it. But like, you know what I mean. Being sexualized by men and knowing that you're being sexualized by men is fucking disgusting. When I used to go to this goth club, I would have guys, like normie ass guys, come up to me and hit on me and say weird things to me, and it's just like, you don't know me. You don't know me. I'm not a fantasy. I'm not gonna like satisfy these weird things that you have in your mind. And it's like, I know you came up to me because of the way that I look. I know you came up to me because I have black hair and bangs and piercings, okay? Like, you're not slick. And it's like, I know you don't want to get to know me. You're not interested in me as a person. You're not interested in the same things that I'm even interested in. You just like me, or you just want to come up and talk to me because I look like a girl and a fucking basically. And I hate that. It makes me like sick to my stomach. I wanted this to be a silly video, but now I'm just like pissed off. But guess what? I'm not gonna change who I am and how I want to express myself because of other people. So I've just kind of had to come to this conclusion of like, you're just gonna have to ignore it. And I know like in the back of my mind it's always there, like someone is very obviously like creeping on me because of this, but it's just something you have to ignore. But it still bothers me because I'm just trying to be myself. I'm just trying to express myself. Looking this way and like listening to the music I listen to is authentic to me. Dressing this way and looking this way makes me feel beautiful. It makes me feel confident. And I know that I'm being 100% myself and being authentic to myself. But knowing that being myself and just minding my own business is being a type, that's weird. So at the end of the day, I do think like these conservative men just chase goth women because they think it's gonna fulfill this like fucked up fantasy that they have. This fantasy that has been implanted in their brains because of and fiction and unrealistic standards and unrealistic stereotypes. So whether it be that or on the other case of them wanting to fix someone, this is obviously like a whole other extreme. Them wanting to fix someone and like changing her and conquering her and like fixing the manic pixie dream girl. Either way, either option, it's both messed up. And it's just like, why are men constantly weird about shit all the fucking time? Why can't we just exist normally? And they've ruined goth spaces. I've already talked about that in my goth club video. And it's just tiring. It's so exhausting. No one's authentic anymore. I'm gonna go off on another tangent real quick, but like these like Republican, like right-leaning men will dress goth to attract goth women, and that is another thing that literally makes me lose my marbles. I can't stand when people do this. These men, it's like they're wolves in sheep's clothing, okay? This is a real thing that happens. They will like start dressing goth. They'll listen to Deftones even if they really don't like it that much, and like they'll get the Affliction and like just start dressing more alternative because they know that other alternative people are attracted to other alternative people. And so they start dressing this way, and then that's how they get the goth girls, right? Even though they're a fucking poser. It's like, even if they're not actually interested in the music, they're just doing it to pick up girls. And it's weird. It's fucking weird. And it's like, I feel like if you've been in the scene for a long time, you have a very keen eye for these kind of people, and you can instantly spot them. If it's like, if you're a baby bat and you're just getting into the goth subculture and it's really authentic to you, it might be a little harder to decipher the people who are targeting you or not, or decipher the people who are, I don't know, trying to bait you. So it's just weird. It's a weird situation, but I don't know. That was just a weird topic that's been heavy on my mind lately, and I wanted to talk about it. And if you are a goth woman, do you have any experiences with conservative men being creepy to you? Or do you yourself have your own theory on why conservative men are attracted to goth women? Let me know down below. And again, if you don't know me, my name is Dimitri. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is my second channel. I will link my main channel down below where I talk about metal, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!